So lately we have been talking about what time, times, and half a time actually means. And so far I haven't given the answer, and not because I don't want to give the answer, but because the answer is a little more intricate than being able to do it just on a short YouTube video, given that it's only about 60 seconds long. So what I really wanted to do was make a video and dive into what time, times, and half a time actually is. So time, times, and half a time is actually mentioned 3 times in the Bible in its entirety. That's Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. And then in Daniel 12, verse 7, we have it that it's for a time, times, and half a time. And then also in Revelation 12:14, I apologize, for a time, times, and a half a time. Today I'm gonna give you the answer for Daniel 7 and Daniel 12. We'll really dive into Revelation 12 on a later date, but let me know in the comments if you really want to know the answer, because it's a very interesting answer to what Revelation 12:14 actually means in God's timeline. And there's actually another timeline that comes out to the same exact time for Revelation chapter 12, verse 14. So let's begin. He shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. But we have to understand what a time is. And everyone will tell you that a time is 3.5 years. It's not 3.5 years. In order to find the actual answer, we must go to the New Testament. We must go to 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8. And it says, this is the verse. And it says, "But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day." But is that translation correct? Well, let's go to the Strong's. Okay, so the word for day here is
Strong's G 2250, Hemera. Hemera.
It's Hemera, okay? However, it can be used for the word time. So they use the day used of the natural day, or the interval between sunrise and sunset, as distinguished from the contrasted with the night. Okay, so a better translation for this would be, "But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one time is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one time." So now that we know that a time is 1,000 years, then what does time, times, and a half a time mean? Well, to most people, you get the 3.5 years. Because you see, time is 1, times is 2, and half a time is half. But is that correct? Is that the correct way to view this? Well, let's see. So again, is that the correct way to view this? Well, let's see. Let's read what it says. It says, "For a time, times, and the dividing of time." Well, let's go to Job 33, verse 14. "For God may speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceiveth it not." So how many times did God speak there? Did he speak 1 time, 2 times, or 3 times? Well, here, he spoke only 2 times. Let's go to Job chapter 40, verse 5. Once have I spoken, but I will not answer. Yea, twice, but I will proceed no further. So how many times was spoken? Well, he said, I have spoken once, but I will not answer. Yea, twice. So did he speak 3 times or did he speak 2 times? Well, he spoke only 2 times. Let's check out one more. See, you have to understand that when he says time, times, and halftime, it's a Jewish idiom. It's like when we say to someone who, English isn't their first language, if we say someone's under the weather, what they're going to ask you, what do you mean they're under the weather? Well, we know what under the weather means. Under the weather means that they're sick. They don't feel well. So when they say time, times, and halftime, they understand what's being said. It's a Jewish idiom I've spoken once and I've spoken twice. How many times have he spoken? How many times has he spoken? Well, 2 times, not 3 times. But let's do one more. Psalm 62:11. God hath spoken once. Twice have I heard this, that power belongeth unto God. So God's spoken once, twice. So did he speak 3 times or 2 times? He's spoken 2 times. So if we know that a time to the Lord is 1,000 years, and we know that times would be only 2 times and not 3, you have 2 times, then you have a half. So you're at 2,500 years. Not 3.5 years, but 2,500 years. So, when he says, and they shall be given into his hand until a time, times, and the dividing of time, he's telling you that the Jewish people will be trampled upon for 2,500 years. But when does the start date start? Well, you have to go back to the beginning of the chapter here. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, that was in 553 BC. You add 2,500 years, and you get to 1947. Now, hold on. The answer is actually 1948. But because it's from BC to AD, you have to add a year because there was no year 0. So the correct answer is 1948. So God told Daniel that the Jewish people would be trampled upon for 2,500 years until 1948. Sounds like a coincidence, doesn't it? Well, there's more proof. You go to Daniel chapter 12, verse 7. And he tells you again. He says that it shall be for a time, times, and a half a time, and when the power of the holy people has been completely shattered, all these things shall be finished. So he's telling you, for another 2,500 years, the holy people are going to be completely shattered. But this is a different time frame. This time frame begins in King Cyrus's 3rd year in his reign. That is 534 BC. 534 BC. And you add 2,500 years, you get 1967. Of course, adding that additional year for year 0. Folks, the Bible clearly tells us that the time of the Gentiles is over. Luke chapter 21, verse 24, the time of the Gentiles has been fulfilled. The time of the end is near. We have 2 time, times, and halftime with 2,500 years, pointing to very significant years 1948, and 1967. Now, again, I said that in Revelation 12, verse 14, there's mention of a time, times, and a halftime. So if it's not 3.5 years, and we know that it's 2,500 years, what is it referring to? Well, that's going to be for a different video because that's a different timeline. But here's what I will say, that most certainly does have to deal with the United States of America. And I can prove it biblically and mathematically in more than just one timeline. But now that you know that a time, times, and a halftime is 2,500 years, and now you know that the time of the Gentile is over because the Jews own Jerusalem now. How can we be in the time of the Gentiles when the Jews own Jerusalem? Time of the Gentile is over. But I appreciate everybody. I thank you for listening to me. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. And please like, subscribe, share this video to your Christian friends and family and let them know that we are in the time of the end, that the time of the Gentile is over. Thank you.